Everybody, get this meeting started. If we could have a roll call, please.
Alderman Shipp.
Here. Present.
Alderman Clark.
Here.
Alderman Mayberry.
Here.
Alderman Spargattis.
Present.
Alderman Talanair.
Here.
Alderman Parker.
Here.
Mayor Tomes.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Just to keep everybody informed, we will be pulling item number 21E under claims. 21E will be pulled from the agenda. Item number 5.
Minutes of the June 11, 2018 meeting.
Move to approve the minutes as printed.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 6.
Minutes of the executive session of June 11, 2018.
Move to approve the executive session minutes.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Item 7, update. A couple items here to keep everybody informed. Tell on Your Neighbor Awards. Each year, residents of Rock Island are encouraged to tell on your neighbor by nominating the yards in their neighborhood that they find to be the most appealing or the most improved. Nominations can be made through August 9th, 2018. Digital photos of the nominated yards are required, but please do not go on private property. Send the photo and address to the nominated property to the Community and Economic Development Department via an email at planning@rigov.org. For questions, call 309-732-2905. Starlight Review Summer Concerts. The Parks Department's free concert series at Lincoln Park continues Tuesday, June 26th, tomorrow night. The Five Bridges Jazz Band will perform at 7 p.m. along with the dance lessons starting at 6 p.m. Enjoy food and drink for purchase from Hy-Vee Grill starting at 5 p.m. Call the Rain line at 309-732-7246 after 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday to check the status of event in inclement weather. Holiday Refuge schedule. During the week of the Independence holiday, Wednesday, July 4th, refuge and yard waste will be on schedule Monday and Tuesday, with the rest of the week being 1 day late. Recycling will be on schedule Tuesday and 1 day late the rest of the week. Red, White, and Boom. Our annual Red, White, and Boom celebration at Schreiber Riverfront Park will be held on Tuesday, July 3rd. Activities begin at 3 p.m. with inflatables for kids, food vendors, and beer gardens. A special military tribute takes place at 5 p.m., and fireworks will be launched from 2 barges on the Mississippi River at 9:30 p.m. Custom choreography music will be played on 96.9 FM, 97X, during the show. Admission is free, and free parking will be available downtown in the parking ramp and on the side streets. A handicap shuttle will provide rides from parking garage to the park entrance to those requiring assistance. For more information, please call the Rock Island Park and Recreation at 309-732-7275. Everyone have a safe and fun 4th of July. Item 8.
Presentation of the June Keep Rock Island Beautiful Award.
Good evening. I'm Paul from Keep Rock Island Beautiful. And before I present our award, I'd like to invite everyone to a cleanup. We're going to do the Boom Boom cleanup on Saturday, the 30th at 9 a.m. We'll be meeting at the Centennial Bridge Visitor Center. And that is a cleanup that we do before Red, White, and Boom to help beautify the area, to welcome all those guests who will be coming here. We want them to have a good impression of Rock Island. And studies do show that a clean area will help prevent litter from happening. So anyone who would like to join us at 9 a.m. Saturday, please come on down. All right, and then to the matter at hand, I'd like to present the Keeping Rock Island Beautiful Award to the Rock Island Animal Hospital. And come on up. This monthly award is presented for people who maintain a litter-free property. And they also have beautiful flowers, and their signs make us laugh. So the Rock Island Animal Hospital for this month's Keeping Rock Island Beautiful Award. Congratulations.
Where's our photographer at? Cut the budget. Take pictures. Can't afford JPEGs anymore.
Thank you so much.
Item number 9.
Presentation of the auditor's financial report for calendar year 2017.
Thank you. My name is Jamie Wilkie. I'm one of the audit partners with the firm of Lauterbach and Amen, here to present this evening the annual comprehensive annual financial report for the fiscal year ended December 31st of 2017. We just actually concluded a very detailed discussion of the audit within the work session, so the goal this evening will be to just cover a few key highlights from the annual audit. So briefly starting, I do want to point out the goals of the financial statement audit are twofold. One, to ensure that the financial statements are materially correct, and two, to ensure that we have a sound internal control environment. We conduct that through a series of tests of account balances, transactions, ensuring that policies and procedures that have been put in place by the city are in fact adhered to, and we have no issues with regards to internal controls. I am happy to report this evening a clean audit opinion and no internal control issues. Briefly, just a few key sections within the document. I've provided page number references. Roman numeral 3 through 10 provides what we call our transmittal letter. That provides information on the local economy, major initiatives for the fiscal year, and major accomplishments, as well as some financial policy discussion. The city was awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. That is, in fact, for last year's comprehensive annual financial report. That is the highest level reporting we can have in the financial government arena. And so certainly I provide kudos to the staff here that's in the audience, Stephanie and Linda, for their efforts in preparing that document for the award program. We obviously anticipate receipt of the 2017 award as well, and that is yet to come. I do want to point out the actual independent auditor's opinion is provided on pages 1 through 3 of the document. Again, that is a clean or what we call unmodified opinion. Okay. One of the most important sections of the document is included in what we call our management's discussion and analysis. This is really the executive summary to the audit. You will find it near the front of the document on pages MD&A 1 through 13. Really here you'll find an overview of the results for the fiscal year, discussion on major transactions and trends, as well as capital asset information and long-term debt information. This was a section that was reviewed with the work study earlier this evening, as well as the basic financial statements. So here is where you will find on pages 4 through 23 the actual results for the fiscal year. And lastly, our statistical section, which starts on page 173, providing all kinds of 10-year trend information. So just wanted to point out briefly some of the key sections within the document itself. At a very high level, the general fund, the main operating fund of the city, overall results for the fiscal year. Our top line is 2017. We ended the year at just over $8.5 million in what we call unassigned or available fund balance. If we equate that to annual expenditures, that's about a 24% reserve. The city's current policy likes to hover around a 25% reserve or a 90-day reserve. Certainly in certain fiscal years, we'll be slightly above that, as was the case last year, and in this year, just slightly below. But again, that continual target of 25%. Okay? And you'll see the last 3 fiscal years presented as well. Single audit was also conducted. The single audit relates to federal expenditures in excess of $750,000 on an annual basis. The city had, in fact, about $1.5 million in federal funds that were received and expended. We also had an unmodified or clean opinion on those federal grant programs. Okay. Management letter, that is a separate document that is issued and includes required communications from the auditor to the council. This is where we would include any of those internal control related issues or recommendations going forward. We had no internal control issues, again, a very clean audit process. We do have one upcoming standard that we are required to adhere to. That is issued by the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, or GASB. That relates to the reporting of post-retirement benefit costs. So we will be working with Stephanie and Linda within the Finance Department to establish what we think that liability might look like, and that is for next year's reporting period, so December 31st of 2018. Okay. The last thing I want to mention is this was our first year of the audit. It was an outstanding audit process with the staff here. Absolute cooperation. They provided every necessary document that we requested in a very timely fashion, and so it would be unfair to not thank them at the meeting, and so we certainly appreciate their efforts, and it certainly made our jobs much easier in getting through that audit process. So thank you to Stephanie and Linda for all their hard work. Any questions this evening that I can address with the council?
More of just a question for Judith. Will these documents be available that we had in our study session on the website?
Yes, they will go online tomorrow, right, Stephanie?
Okay. So I would encourage anyone in the audience or watching at home or who will be reading about this in the paper to consult these documents so they can see the same information that we're seeing. This is a completely, complete dissection of the city's finances. Everything's there. There's no buried skeletons anywhere else. So if you want to know what we know, check those documents out.
Alderman Shipp, just to point out, too, for those people who don't have access to the internet, a copy is always available in my office, too.
Great. Good point. Thank you.
Good.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Have a good evening.
We appreciate it also. Item 10.
Proclamation declaring July 3rd, 2018 as Red, White, and Boom Military and Arsenal Appreciation Day.
Someone from Parks is going to be receiving this, or whoever. But whereas the city of Rock Island, Illinois, and Davenport, Iowa, have been cooperative neighbors since the founding of each community in 1835 and 1836, respectively. And whereas there exists a long history of collaboration dating back to the 1850s, when the two communities were connected by the first railroad bridge across the Mississippi River. And whereas Red, White, and Boom is celebrating its 14th anniversary of cooperation between these two communities. Whereas River Vision is a cooperative plan for the redevelopment of the riverfronts between the two cities, and whereas the execution of said plan has brought continuous improvements and enhanced the quality of life along both riverfronts. And whereas we honor the birth of our nation, those who gave all of our great country and those who serve today to protect our shores. And whereas Arsenal Island and the military commands located there have been a significant part of the history of both communities. And whereas our communities commemorate the Rock Island Arsenal and Arsenal's importance to our region and nation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mike Tomes, Mayor of the City of Rock Island, along with Frank Clips, Mayor of the City of Davenport, congratulate both of our cities for their improvements to the riverfront and also the Rock Island Arsenal for all its past achievements and innovations, and look forward to celebrating future success. We do hereby proclaim July 3rd, 2018 as Red, White, and Boom Military and Arsenal Appreciation Day. Thank you. I don't know if you want to give a little more spiel on it, or
We would just remind everyone really quickly that the festivities start at 5 p.m. We'll have family entertainment, fun, music, and please don't bring any of your own fireworks to the show. There'll be plenty there. Thanks.
Thank you. Item number 11.
Proclamation declaring June 25th, 2018 as Rock Island High School Girls Softball Day.
Well, we did make a mention and everything else, and a lot of you were here 2 weeks ago, but we want to do it formally with a proclamation with some of the statistics and everything else, so appreciate everybody being here. But whereas Coach Chris Allison has led the Rock Island Girls Softball program for only 4 years, and whereas this year his team finished the season with an impressive 32 wins and 5 losses, breaking the single-season win record for the program set back in 1997. And whereas not only did the Lady Rocks win their first regional championship in 14 years, they went on to win their first ever Class 4A Pekin Sectional Championship, outlasting their former Nemesis. Boy, I just struggled with it. Nemesis, thank you. Edwardsville 4-3 in 11 innings. And whereas they then went on to win their super sectional title with a 3-0 win over Minocqua. And whereas on Saturday, June 9th, 2018, the Rock Island girls softball team beat Plainfield North 2-1 in a clinch in the Illinois State Class 4A state championship title. And whereas earlier this month, it was announced that Max Preps ranked them number 2 overall in the state of Illinois. And whereas with many key players returning, we can look forward to another winning season this next year. Now, therefore, I, Mike Tomes, Mayor of the City of Rock Island, proclaim June 25th, 2018 as Rock Island High School Girls Softball Day in the City of Rock Island, Illinois, and call upon the citizens of our community to join me in congratulating this 2018 team on their accomplishments and wish them further success in seasons to come.
And I.
Okay, we got some people take pictures here, and she's got a phone there if we want to. You have to get short so you get in front. Louis, come on in, girls. Kids on in? I got it. Thank you, ladies. Congratulations. Item number 12.
Proclamation declaring June 25th, 2018 as Rockridge High School Girls Softball Day.
Well, once again, we talk about, I guess something to mention is talk about Rock Ridge here, and people say, why Rock Ridge? Well, you know, part of the city of Rock Island is in the Rock Ridge School District. And so I felt that, that we should honor them also because they got a great accomplishment this year also. Unfortunately, the coach, I believe, couldn't make it the last minute, so so we'll make sure they get this. But Whereas the Rock Ridge girls softball program, led by head coach John Nelson, finished their 2018 season with a 29-5 record. And whereas this year marked the third consecutive time the Lady Rockets won their Three Rivers Conference title. And whereas they have also won their past 4 regional championships, and whereas this Rock Ridge program has gone on to win their past 3 sectional championships and have played in the last 3 super sectional games. And whereas, to add to these remarkable statistics, in 2016 they placed 3rd in the state finals, and in 2005 they won the Class 1A state title. And whereas on Saturday, June 2nd, 2018, the Rock Ridge girls softball team knocked off defending champ Beecher 5-2 to cinch the Illinois State Class 2A state championship title. And whereas earlier this month it was announced that MaxPreps ranked them number 14 overall in the state of Illinois. And whereas with many key players returning, they can look forward to another winning season this next year. Now, therefore, I, Mike Tomes, Mayor of Rock Island, proclaim June 25th, 2018 as Rock Ridge High School Girls Softball Day in the city of Rock Island, Illinois, and call upon the citizens of our community to join me in congratulating this 2018 team on their accomplishments and wish them further success in the seasons to come. So well done with Rock Ridge. Okay. Item 13.
Mayor Tomes will close the regular meeting and open a public hearing for comments on the City of Rock Island's Program Year 2018 HUD CDBG Annual Action Plan.
All right, we will close the regular meeting and open the public.
This is actually the start of a formality for us to create our annual action plan for the CDBG program that we have here in the city of Rock Island. And what it is, tonight's the first hearing, no action to be taken, just comments to receive. The next action will be a community kind of work session, if you will. We're working on the date and securing that, which will be for us to really sit down and talk about how we're going to spend the funds. And then we're looking at the next public hearing being July 9th, with hopefully a recommendation to council to proceed. But what the annual action plan does is it outlines some initiatives and goals that the city plans to achieve during the program year through the projects and activities that have been identified in the city's 5-year consolidated action plan, 2013 through 2018. And the projects and activities will include neighborhood housing and rental rehabilitation, code enforcement, inspections, business development, job creation and retention, business facilities, public service activities, and slum and blight removal. This also helps set the stage for the next consolidated action plan, which will be our 5-year plan from 2019 through 2023. So that's why we're here this evening.
Very good. Does anybody up here have questions at this point? We can also open up to anybody in the audience. But
There's a lot of information in this memo. I mean, this thing is jam-packed with all sorts of social services that we're supporting and things like that. And so I guess I would just have a request similar to our auditor this evening and many other thorough content that we have. If we can have more of a presentation of this information at the next meeting. I know we're doing a community meeting here coming up, but if we could have something more with like slides with the presentation, just so that the public, the media, the press can really digest on what we're doing. Because I have a number of constituents and just people that ask me, what are we doing for Rock Island's working families? And when it's just a hyperlink on an agenda buried on the city's website, most regular people that live in the Quad Cities don't pay attention. So if I could just have one request, that maybe we do a PowerPoint presentation at the next public hearing or something like that, just to really give more of a whole view of what we're going to be doing, because we're doing a lot of really fantastic stuff, and I want that to be the message that people are talking about.
You're correct. I mean, this is almost 60-some pages, and it's packed full of everything under the sun.
Right.
And you really do, it's a great cure for insomnia to read it. But but the information is very, very good to know. And during our public work session and then at the next public hearing, we'd be happy to sit there and walk through where we think during a public work session how the funds should be looked at.
Yeah.
Absolutely, not a problem.
I mean, there's a number of organizations in this document that most people probably don't even know exist and that we support. Youth, I mean, I've had people say, do we do programs to help high schoolers with vocational skills for building homes like they did back in the good old days? And Youth Build is in this document. You know, I don't know how active we're going to participate or if that organization still exists. But, you know, this has a lot of information that I think the public would really like to know.
Absolutely.
And so kudos to your staff and for all the work that we're doing as the city. Let's do a better job in sharing it.
Absolutely. If there are detailed questions about the document, Colleen is here.
Yeah.
Colleen Small-Bowman in my office. She lives and breathes CDBG. This is her document. She can walk you through everything, the partner groups and everything else. So she's here as well to answer any questions.
And then just sort of a niche request, the public meeting, not the next public meeting, but the workshop that we're going to be doing. Can we create a Facebook event for that with the city's web or Facebook account so that I can share it?
We'll
that
make
way?
sure that that is on the city's Facebook page, the city's website as well.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Is there anybody else in the public like to speak about this? Anybody out there want to talk about this? Okay. Not hearing any, we're going to close the public hearing and reopen the council meeting. We have item 14.
Mayor Tomes will close the regular meeting and open a public hearing on a request from Susan E. McAfoos for a waiver of the signature requirement to secure a liquor license at 3850 46th Avenue, Suite 8.
Once again, we're going to close the, we need the motion. We need the motion first?
No.
No, I didn't think of that. You have the hearing first. I would like to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing. And I don't know if, Susan, if you'd like to speak first. And I know you like public speaking, but.
Hi. I just asked for to be included in this meeting in hopes that you guys would consider getting a variance for the signatures that are required for a restaurant/liquor license for this particular location. Currently, I have been awarded a license to do the same thing in Moline, and I've been trying to do it here for almost 2 years. So that's what I'm here for.
That's great. I just want to, of course, remind you and I guess everybody else that, of course, we, different than Moline,
Oh, I know.
we have the ordinance of
Yeah.
a minimum of 50% of your business has to be in food and beverage compared to the gaming.
I understand.
On an ongoing basis. And so that is a requirement in the city of Rock Island versus any other city around.
So can you tell us about your business plan?
Yeah.
Is this location next to what used to be Sultan's Mediterranean?
El Patron Express now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to do something different. So by serving food, having the alcohol, and then having the slot machines in addition to the business, and that's my plan. I would seat probably anywhere from 22 to 24 people, be open probably 10 in the morning until 9 or 10 o'clock at night, maybe a little bit later on Friday and Saturday. It's just something new that I want to try.
How many machines, slot machines?
The state only allows me to have 5, and if 5 would fit, then I would do 5.
And where part of the problem came in is there's a number of different corporations that own these things that aren't in the community to get signatures from, like the old Kmart store.
Right.
And so that's where some of the problem came in.
Yes. And I was able to secure everything except for the two more signatures that were required. So my next step was to, ask for a variance.
A waiver. Yep.
Yeah, waiver, yeah.
Okay.
How many establishments do you have up and running in the Quad Cities?
In the Quad Cities, I have 6.
Okay. And do any of them?
But they're different. The new one that I'm opening in Moline will be the first that has the food to go along with it, which is what I want to mimic here.
Okay.
But the other ones are just regular gaming parlors.
And the one in Moline so that's still in the process of,
I just got the liquor license, so I'll be applying for the state license and then the gaming license. So
Okay.
hopefully in a couple months it'll be up and running.
okay, great.
So I was curious about your food menu. It's soup and chili, is that correct?
Chili, hot dogs, tamales.
Oh, there are other things, okay.
Yeah. I provided a menu to, I think, the food gentleman, and there might have been one in with the application, but I didn't bring copies, sorry.
I'm not sure if I saw a menu in here or not, but I did see reference to soup and chili, and that's why I wanted to know if there was anything else.
Yeah.
Because it seemed to me like soup and chili and maybe wine and beer. I wasn't quite sure how that all fit together, but that's, I mean.
There are a few others. I mean, I don't want to get too complicated because I've never run a restaurant before.
Right.
But there's hot dogs, tamales, maybe burritos, there's other smaller snacks.
Well, personally, I'm hoping that we can accommodate you and that you can be successful in Rock Island.
That would be great.
What is the signature requirements? How many?
They provided me, I believe, with 10.
Amount?
I did it so long ago.
It's based on a percentage of the round surrounding
They
area.
provided you with 10.
I think there were 10, 9 or 10.
And the memo says that there's 8 properties within
There were
40
8
feet.
that I had to have all of them, and I didn't get, I think, 2 on this one.
3, I believe.
I think just 2. Yeah, there was
page-
only 2 that I didn't get. I got 3 on the other one, and I only needed 2.
There's 2 lists. One
Yeah,
is
there's 2.
There's 2 different lists. One are mandatory that you have, and there's, like I say, the other one could be expanded a little bit farther out.
Can Tim click on the link so that we can have the memo? Because that's what I'm going off of here.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Did you have a question with that as far as?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to get clarification as
Yeah.
to,
I don't think Tim heard you.
Tim, are you able to click on the link?
thank you. Scroll down to page 2.
There you
There.
go.
Scroll down a little bit more. Okay, yep. That'll work. Is this the same list?
Mm-hmm.
So in the signature obtain column, there's 3 no's and 5 yeses, is that correct? Is that accurate to your count?
I was only short 2 out of... I was
where would they
short the Jonathan Conasacker and,
And the JMA Real Estate LLC?
yes, I believe I have all the other ones. Oh, they came on separate sheets, that's why. Yeah, I know I was short 2.
Does staff have a recommendation on this, or are we still just gathering information?
I guess
I
I'm
apologize. Okay.
Not staff at this point.
guess I'm confused by our memo. There's 10 addresses and owners listed here, correct?
Correct. You didn't get the old Kmart store either.
No, I did not get Kmart.
Yep.
And
I believe there was 3 that you didn't.
Is that the one that you had a letter saying that the realtor would not sign? Okay.
Yes.
So there was 1 against.
yeah, there were only 2. I don't have that one, I'm sorry.
Well, Mayor, you're our liquor commissioner.
Yes.
You've reviewed these materials. You're aware of
Yes.
the situation.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about the situation?
My thoughts is that this be approved. It's very difficult to get some of these signatures and that sort of thing. I just always get cautious to people making an investment and going down the road of the 50% of food and alcohol versus the gaming. There's no doubt that Susan's, has got the expertise in the gaming side. And the city of Rock Island, I get a little nervous about getting too many gaming
Right.
in the city of Rock Island. Of course, before most of us, the ordinance was changed and added the food and beverage to help slow that down and add some food and beverage tax and make it worthwhile. She, at this point, is, like she mentioned, 2 years from now, not to give too much history here, but tried to get applied before that new ordinance was in place, and there was some communication gaps and everything else. And so she's been very patient with the city of Rock Island and working through the changes we've made. So I think that she's been very due diligent in her work and everything else, and feel like we can support this this process. Once again, as I've reiterated, maybe for the third time, that the food and beverage, and typically that's been checked on a quarterly basis. You could pay them monthly, but typically people pay the food and beverage taxes quarterly, and so we can't verify those numbers together with them except for quarterly. And where we already have one establishment now under this ordinance, we're doing a several-step process, that if the first quarter they don't make it, we put them on a warning notice, and then the second quarter, we may take further steps after that.
Sure.
To make sure that, and so they could go on for 6 to 9 months. If by that time they don't make it, then would we revoke the license or revoke it, the gaming part of it.
Sure.
Which then she may want to close or whatever. So if that makes any sense and answers your question or not.
Perfect sense, makes sense.
Gaming, we revoke the liquor license.
The liquor, which then takes the gaming with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, does it?
Yeah,
Yes.
they go hand in hand.
Yes, you have to have liquor to get the gaming.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yes.
So my understanding is that if the council waives the signature requirement because she didn't get 100% of what
Right.
she needed, but she got the majority, I believe, then it goes to the liquor commissioner, which is the mayor, for final determination, it says here.
Yes.
And they also, the report recommends that should a waiver be granted, it is recommended that issuance of the requested liquor license be contingent upon completion of the proposed renovation in compliance with building, service, and fire code requirements. A specified time frame for completion of the renovation should also be set.
Correct. You got to have all the other, like any business, have to meet the inspections
Right.
of anything else. Another thing, I guess, reason I would probably recommend it is there's no school close by it. There's very little residential right there. It's obviously mostly commercial and retail. There's a church a little ways away, but not right next to it. And so, once again, I guess that's where I would go in favor of it. Is it's not, to me, infringing on those types of elements. So,
And I think I'm looking at the list wrong here, but I'm counting. Am I counting 5 no's? And maybe it says signature obtained. No, 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 no.
At the very bottom, it says the applicant obtained signatures representing a total of 5 properties.
Yes.
I mean, the report was submitted by the police department.
yeah.
Perhaps we can get some clarification as to why there's some discrepancy.
50-50.
Chief is coming.
The note is pretty clear. The applicant obtained 5 signatures, could not make contact with 4 owners. So that means one person said no. Four were not responsive.
That's correct.
The other 5.
Chief's
I keep
Chief's coming
hearing
up to
2.
explain it.
Go ahead.
I only had 2 signatures that I did not obtain.
Yeah.
2.
Let's let the chief explain.
The way the ordinance reads is that you're required to get a majority of signatures for within 300 feet of either direction that the business fronts, and 40 feet, businesses within 40 feet or residences within 40 feet that immediately adjacent to or abutting on any side of the proposed business. Those are mandatory signatures. I can't decipher what signatures we got in this short time looking at this, but these type of situations is pretty difficult when you have a bunch of, it's not just a business, you have to get the owner of the property signature. So these type of situations are where we defer back to the liquor commissioner for a decision because they're unable to meet the signature requirements.
It sounds like, why do we require the owner of the business and not simply the manager for the location or something like that? Is there any interest? Side conversation, but still.
Let's take that up in a separate conversation. Let's not get bogged down with that.
Sure.
At this point, it reads as the owners, and that's where,
Well, I guess 2 thoughts. One, perhaps for CED, I'm not sure who would be best, but do we have any sort of requirements on signage special requirements for signage for gaming, or I guess in this case, this would be just a restaurant? How is this identified? Does it have to have a special use permit, or is it a special zoning?
No.
It's in a business area, so it would follow the same sign requirements as all businesses.
Okay.
It's a restaurant with it's a restaurant with a liquor license.
Good job, Chandler. Thank you. My second comment is simply, as with everything that we do, if we make an exception for one, then there's going to be 20 more, potentially. So keep that in mind. Every other restaurant / tavern / gaming facility that we have in Rock Island has had to perform these difficulties. And so a rule is a rule.
So we have done waivers before. This isn't the only one. Because it is difficult sometimes. Sometimes the owner could be a vacant property and they just don't care. It doesn't really mean anything to them.
Welcome to being a city.
We've had some problems downtown, or there might be another establishment close by that doesn't want the competition and they refuse to sign. So this isn't uncommon.
Thank you very much.
So just to clarify, under the column that says signature obtained, and then where it says no on several of them, that means that you just couldn't get a signature from that person. You couldn't get a response or whatever. Doesn't mean that they said no.
Right.
Is that correct?
One absolutely would not even speak to me. The other one just would not continue to respond to us.
You just didn't get a response. Okay. I just want to be sure that that's clear. We don't have a bunch of people who are saying no, that they're opposed to it. They just didn't respond.
Well, we don't know that yet. They might still be out.
Well,
they
that's
might still
so
be
far.
in the audience.
I mean, so far, yes, correct.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
That's
And
clear.
I do have the original signatures. I have 6 of the 8. So if I need to get those, I will make sure I
We
give
believe
you
you.
copies.
Yeah. It's a hearing, and we'll listen to the opposition if they're there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, from my own personal take on this, you know, you're in an area where there's businesses. I mean this frankly, I could care less if some of these businesses were not willing to put the time in to talk with you. They're in business, you're trying to get in business. Where I'm most concerned about the signature requirements is where we're having someplace that serves liquor that could be close to a high-density residential area. And at that point, I am concerned, do the residents want that or do they not? This area is a commercial business corridor. You want to come in and open up shop, and I think that's a great thing. My only parting concern, and I plan on supporting you for your request here, is, you know, I hear that the restaurant side of this business may not be your expertise. And I hope that, you know, there are resources in this community that can help you be successful in that area. Mm-hmm. You know, there's other people already going to that area. They're going to Subway, they're going to Sonic. There's already people, there's already a market there for you. And so I hope you can fit into that and be a real player for that lunchtime and dinner special. And then also capitalize on your gaming expertise as well. So
They don't have anything like this anywhere that I'm aware of?
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we open up, see if there's anybody out in the public here. Is there anybody who'd like to speak for this? Is there anybody out there that'd like to speak in favor of this? Is there anybody out there who'd like to speak again? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's right.
If you don't mind, you need to come up to the podium. If you could put your name up there, please. I appreciate it also.
And city of residence.
And city.
Good. They left me one. My name is Chris Chewich, and I didn't know that she was going to be here tonight, but my friend actually works at one of her properties, and it's a really nice property. It's really well run. It's very classy, much nicer than some other places that my friend has worked. So I think that she runs a really nice place, and you guys would be happy with it.
Thank you.
And ma'am, just as a formality, could you just give us your city of residence, please?
Silvis.
Thank you very much.
Is there anybody else out there that'd like to speak in favor of this? Is there anybody out there that'd like to oppose this? Once again, when she gets done there, if you could put your name and city up there, and then also let us know what that is.
My name is Kerry Pinozzo, and I live at 4141 45th Avenue. That's a residential property. I also own a commercial property, which I don't know why that's not on that list. It's very close to that. It's the old R.J. Boers, but that one is not on the list. But as I see this, I see 5 no's on this, so I don't quite understand why we're making a variance on this, and I would vote against this. I have a residential property here, and I'm not interested in having liquor in this area. That's my opinion.
Of course, remember the definition we put up no's in there is that some of those people didn't say they didn't want it. They just were not able to get a hold of.
Well, that's what you're saying, but I'm one that they were able to get a hold of.
Yes.
And
you
I
opposed
told Jeff that I was not interested in doing
That's
this,
fine.
and I'd get back to him, and they're presenting me as a not to get a hold of or not responding,
Right.
and I'm telling you
Okay.
I responded, and I would vote against this, and I would tell you that maybe the other people, the reason why they haven't responded is because they're not interested in, approving this. So.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. No.
Sir, I'm sorry. I'm not clear exactly what your address was or where you live.
I'm address number 1.
On the top or the
Yes,
bottom?
on the top, I'm sorry.
44.
Yeah, I'm U.S. Bank Trust.
Okay, I got you.
I own U.S. Bank.
Thank you.
Whoa! Then we need other conversation.
I'm just kidding.
No.
Sir, did you oppose the liquor application for the former Sultan's Mediterranean that was there? Because they were in operation. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't recall if that was presented to me or not.
Okay.
I have no recollection of that.
Okay.
So.
Because I know that they had applied. And did
El Patron is not applied.
Okay.
Try at this point.
Sure. I just was curious.
Any other questions of them? Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone else out there that wants to oppose this? Like to speak opposing? Okay, hearing none. We're going to close the public hearing and reopen the regular council meeting.
Mayor Tomes will close the public hearing, reconvene the regular meeting, and entertain a motion.
I move to recommend to the mayor, liquor commissioner, to waive the signature requirement as requested and approve the liquor license.
Second.
Moved in second. Is there any discussion?
I would just like to state for the record, I know we do this, that there were some contingencies placed upon that approval for the inspections of the property. And so I would say that all things of final approval are contingent on the building being fit for occupancy and meeting all code standards.
I'd agree to that addition to the motion.
You okay with that? All right. If there's no other discussion, we need a roll call.
Alderman Shipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Burgettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
No.
Parker.
Yes.
6 ayes, 1 nay. Motion carried.
Item 15.
A special ordinance amending 2 previously amended special ordinances granting a special use permit at 3055 38th Street.
Motion to consider suspend the rules and pass the ordinance?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Shipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 16.
A special ordinance establishing a one-way street heading eastbound on 25th Avenue between 9th and 11th Streets on school days between the hours of 7:15 a.m. and 8:15 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m.
Move to consider, suspend the rules, and pass the ordinance.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Shipp.
Aye.
Geenan. Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
No.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
No.
Parker.
Aye.
5 ayes, 2 noes. Motion carried.
Item 17.
A special ordinance establishing a 3-way stop intersection at 21st Street and 16th Avenue.
Move to consider suspend the rules and pass the ordinance.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Thank goodness for that, suspending the rules.
Can't believe that.
That's what we call the boomerang effect.
Exactly. Roll call, please.
Alderman Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 18.
A special ordinance establishing a three-way stop intersection at 22nd Street and 17th Avenue.
Move to consider, suspend the rules, and pass the ordinance.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Alderman Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 19.
A special ordinance removing a handicap parking space at 617 32nd Street.
Move to consider, suspend the rules, and pass the ordinance.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Alderman Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 20.
A special ordinance removing a parking lot from being under city ordinance control at 1820 Fifth Avenue.
Move to consider, suspend the rules, and pass the ordinance.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Alderman Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 21.
Claims. A, report from the Human Resources Department regarding payment in the amount of $15,154.97 to Broadspire of Atlanta, Georgia for a workers' compensation claim. And B, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment in the amount of $19,386.84 to Compass Minerals of Atlanta, Georgia for the purchase of rock salt.
Move to accept the reports and authorize payments as recommended for claims item A and B.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
I have a question about B. Was this purchased via a joint purchasing practice with our neighboring communities? And if not, did we historically do that? And if not, why not? Sorry.
Rock salt on this purchase is part of the state bid.
Okay. So it's bid throughout.
Correct.
All municipalities can bid through the state?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Memo.
Roll call.
Alderman Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair. Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried. C, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 8 in the amount of $779,859 to Civil Constructors Incorporated of East Moline, Illinois for the water filtration facility project for services provided from April 27, 2018 through May 24, 2018. And D, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 6 in the amount of $144,732 to Langman Construction Incorporated of Rock Island, Illinois for the Outfall 6 Basin Separation Project for services provided from April 28, 2018 through May 31, 2018.
And E?
Was removed
E
from
was
the...
pulled.
E was pulled.
You pull that?
So we need a motion.
Move to accept the reports and authorize payments as recommended for C and D.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Guess what? Due to the nature of my employment, I will be recusing myself from this vote.
Appointment. Election.
Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
22.
Claims for the weeks of June 8th through June 14th in the amount of $846,745.85, and June 15th through June 21st in the amount of $835,370.95, and payroll for the weeks of June 4th through June 17th in the amount of $1,524,147.57.
Motion to allow claims and payroll.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Schipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 23.
ACH payments for the month of May in the amount of $1,145,370.63.
Move to approve the ACH payments.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Schipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 24.
Purchase card claims for the period from April 26th through May 29th, 2018, in the amount of $59,231.23.
Move to approve the purchase card claims.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Schipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
25.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding bids for the fiber optic cable Phase 10 Douglas Park Concession Stand project, recommending the bid be awarded to Tri-City Electric Company of Davenport, Iowa, in the amount of $24,682.
Move to award the bid as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
I noticed that Tri-City was the only contractor that bid on the project. Is that correct? I think it was. Just a question, in situations where only one contractor bids, do we ever proactively, I know it says in the memo that we contacted the two other contractors, but do we follow up with them and say, hey, is there a reason that you didn't bid? Is there something on our end? You know, are we publishing this in the right place? Are we doing something wrong with our engineering? Any follow-up on the contractors that did not submit bids to see if there's anything that we could do to get them to bid to increase the volume of bids?
Sure. You know, on this particular one, I can't say whether they were or were not contacted as follow-up. We have in the past contacted, and we've, been told we've got too many irons in the fire, just don't have enough personnel, not particularly interested in this project. But this one here, I can't tell you the reason for those. But
Okay.
yeah, we do.
I was just curious if that was a practice that we've done or if we
Sure.
Larry, I think historically we've seen with the fiber optic that Tri-City is really the player in town for that. That's picked up our jobs. I know bids in the past, they've been the only one, and we've solicited interest from others. They just haven't jumped on it for whatever reason.
Correct.
It could just be technical capacity that they don't have. I don't know what it is, but for this particular type of work, I have seen it.
Yeah.
Where they're the only bidder on the job.
Right.
I just want to know if there's anything that we can do to increase the bids. That's all.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, we do follow up. We do ask them questions. We talk to them. Like I said, most of the time it's, too many irons in the fire, not interested, or don't have the technical expertise.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Schipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 26.
Report from the Human Resources Department regarding an agreement for city attorney legal services, recommending a 3-year contract with Morrison, Marquis, Campbell, LaRoe, and Wang. Principals David Morrison and Hector LaRoe at the rate of $138.25 per hour and $88,998 for the annual retainer fee.
Move to approve the agreement as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the contract documents.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
I have a question. Paragraph 4 on the front page says any change to the city attorney's retainer and hourly fees will be tied directly to the non-affiliated employee's general wage increase. Do you want to explain that, John? For example, is that we're looking at signing a 3-year contract. So when would that take effect?
Well, assuming there's a general wage increase for non-affiliated employees at the beginning of the year, then that's when it would take effect here. So it matches up whatever the wage increase given to non-affiliated employees has been.
So it would, if the non-affiliated's got a general wage increase, that's usually looked at on an annual basis. Is that correct?
Correct.
So in addition to the amounts of money that we're contracting to, there would be, on an annual basis, a possible increase on top of that.
Correct.
Okay, can the city council get a deal like that?
Yes.
Okay.
We can?
You can.
Okay.
You got to prove it.
We sure could.
Well, we haven't had a raise since 1995. 95, I think. It's 23 years. I'm just pointing that out.
Well, I disagree 100%. We work a third less nights now, and we get the same money. So it looks to me like it has a 50% raise in pay.
Yeah, well, you're wrong because the agenda is increasing every time.
Let's keep it on the topic.
All right, I'm sorry. I just wanted to stick that in somebody's eye. Thank you.
Your own eye, apparently.
Mayor, I would like to offer a non-binding, non-serious amendment or addition to the motion that Hector be limited to one clever joke per financial quarter, and that can be in person or PowerPoint. But I just want that out there for the record.
And by the way, my comments have no reflection on the legal services that we get because I think they're excellent.
Yes.
It's the opposite side that I'm emphasizing.
Oh, you were grandstanding, my friend. That's totally allowed.
I was just waiting for my chance.
No offense to our friend Dave here as well, but was this put out to bid? I have this thing about bidding tonight, I guess, but I mean, how did we do any sort of procurement process for legal services?
Why should I get up?
For the current contract, no, this wasn't taken out to bid. It's just kind of an extension of the current agreement here.
How long have we had the current agreement?
5 years.
And in other departments, like in the Public Works Department, it's regular practice to extend the bid for one? Is that my understanding? Who knows?
But so I can't tell you what policy Larry has right now. When I was there, we only extended it one more cycle, but it used to be commonplace to do several cycles.
Okay.
So this would essentially be one cycle. This is the first contract and then the second.
And this is for
3
years. Okay, just a request next time. We should, no offense, Dave, but
None taken.
we should put it out to bid.
For the record, our city attorney has, on the record, stated if we can find the services that he provides us for less, he would encourage us to take them. But I think it's a good. A couple years back, we looked at this comparative study, and it didn't. I don't think it came close to what we're getting. It was It was kind of like shut up about it and just take the deal.
The record or the wage information or the hourly charges were significantly lower for the law firm here, and I'll be honest with you, there's not a ton of people that provide, I guess, city attorney type of legal services that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no doubt doing it internally ourselves is as you guys I think did that study is not as cheap as people think.
Right.
When you do a legal assistance and all that stuff. So,
all right, roll call, please.
Alderman Shipp.
Aye.
Keenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talonier.
That's right.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 27.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding IDOT's bid opening for the 18th Avenue resurfacing, 17th Street to 46th Street project, with IDOT recommending the bid be awarded to Valley Construction of Rock Island, Illinois, in the amount of $2,563,525.54.
Motion to absolutely concur with IDOT on the award of the contract as recommended.
Everybody gets sick of this. Is there any discussion?
2 comments. First, I will not be voting on this as well. I'll be recusing myself. Secondly, are we too late to require them to lay conduit for?
We're too late.
It's a resurfacing, not.
Oh, it's a
rebuild.
resurfacing?
And do a full replacement.
Gotcha. Thank you for the.
So this is one of two major resurfacing projects that will be happening. Larry, Randy, just but this might start as soon as this year. And so this is a massive undertaking, and in August we're still on track for the August bid letting for 38th Street. Is that correct, Larry?
I believe so.
As far as I know, yes. I've not heard anything different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, again, just as general information, that project could be bid for 38th Street, and that would be from 7th Avenue to Blackhawk Road.
That is correct.
Again, a massive undertaking. And so I know that constituents in my ward and throughout the city have been noticing the condition of the street. We're doing everything that we can. I know that this has been many months of work for our staff to get out there and respond to everything IDOT's asked for. This is extremely, I don't want to say unusual, but really the stars are aligning that these two could be overlapping at the same time, getting that much road work done and really improving the image of the city and the quality of the driving experience, the pedestrian use of the streets. So, and this project and the other one in August, would that be 80-20? So we're paying 20% of the funding, the state's paying 80%. So this is a good use of your state income tax dollars getting put back into work for millions of dollars of road work in the city of Rock Island. So,
So Larry, is there any concern, were you done? Was there any concern that, or just happy about a 25% lower bid than the next lowest bid of the four that bid on the job? The winner was 25%. There usually isn't that much fluff in a job. Is there any concern on the engineering end of that?
No.
Okay,
No, we were quite happy with who won the bid.
good.
All right, are we ready for roll call?
Alderman Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
6 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 28.
Report from the Public Works Department regarding a 2-year extension of the janitorial services contract with FBG Service Corporation of Rock Island, Illinois, in the amount of $252,648.
Move to approve the contract extension is recommended.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
John Thorson, real quick question for you on this one. I know, I think prior to adopting the contract that we would be extending for this vote, we had a different cleaning service or a different contractor for these services. The change was made because of quality concern. Are we still happy with the quality that we're getting from this?
Yeah, we do have a new contractor, but Alderman Shep, I don't oversee that here. That's
Okay.
It was, yes, so we had a previous contractor.
Okay.
And
Sorry, John.
nobody was happy with the results. And so we did go out to bid, and they were the winner a couple of years ago. And I have not heard any complaints about their quality at all. Actually, nothing but rave reviews once they started. So we've been very happy.
I just, I sometimes when the new folks come in, it's the honeymoon period and the services are great, and then but I'm just glad that it's continued and that it's still what we're paying for.
Roll call.
Alderman Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark. Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 29.
Report from General Administration regarding an ordinance amending Chapter 8, Article 7, Division 4, Section 8-232, 4B of the Code of Ordinances, extending the plaza nighttime vendor hours from 2:45 a.m. to 3 a.m.
To consider, suspend the rules, and pass the ordinance with an amendment that it be increased to 3:15 a.m., not 3 a.m.
I did think it was 30 minutes.
Why'd you think that?
Because that's what I thought he was requesting, the guy that came.
He requested
Hold on,
3.
Can we get a second on the motion first?
Yep,
before we
yep.
go to discussion?
Second.
Thank you.
Now discussion?
Now it's all yours.
The gentleman that came and spoke with us about that,
Yes.
what was his request?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock was it?
See, the plaza has to be cleared by 3:15, so if the vendors open until 3:15, then there's a bunch of people sitting there.
Push
at
back.
Well, we can, but you do need to remember also that there are residents that live down there, and sure, they're cognizant of the fact that they live next to an entertainment district. However, at some point, we do want to be mindful of those folks. But
And he really requested 3:15, and he said he could be out of there in 15, or 3. He said, I can be out of there in 15 minutes or so.
And we didn't put an end time, so he doesn't have to be out of there in the 15 minutes now. So if he's not out of there till 3:20, 3:25, 3:30,
Okay.
as long as he's packing up and leaving and not just milling about. So he's got ample time now to close up after 3.
So will you withdraw your amendment?
No.
No? Well, then we'll
No,
have to vote now.
I understand that you have to be off the plaza by 3:15, and if he wants to sell food until 3:14 and then be out there in 1 minute and get in trouble, then that's his decision. But if he
Well, he doesn't have to be off there, but everyone in the line for food needs to be off of there. That's kind of I mean, it's your decision, but I would amend that ordinance, I guess, too. But it's really your decision.
I guess my thought is the maximum hour that the bars can be open is 3 a.m. If we close it at 3 a.m., you can leave the bar at 2:59. You got 5 minutes to get food, 10 minutes to get out. He's missing out on a lot of business between 3 and 3:15, potentially. I mean, not a lot. It's, 10 people, whatever.
They should leave the bar 5 minutes sooner.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, did they have to stay till the doors close?
No, but
If
there's
they
a number of customers who do, and it's
If
not
they want
necessarily...
food, I'm in a feisty mood tonight, Dylan.
I,
If they want food
Oh,
at
yes.
the truck vendor or whatever he is out there, let them leave a couple minutes earlier and abide by the ordinance and clear the plaza by 3:15.
This would still require everybody to leave the plaza by 3:15. It just allows the business owner to make for his own decision that he can serve food until it's time for everybody to get out of there.
You put a little pressure on the police department or whatever trying to clear the area. If he's open up till 3:15, they're sort of saying, how can you kick me out of here when this guy's open?
That's already happening right now.
So. Yeah.
No?
Can we call the vote?
Well, I mean, if
Clarification on the vote.
Yes.
Yeah. Dave, perhaps you can clarify it by him adding that to it. We'll be voting for 3:15 and not 3 o'clock?
The motion as made and seconded is for passing, allowing the service of food till 3:15 as opposed to 3 o'clock as noted. You are correct.
Okay. Well, I'll have to vote no on that.
I'm going to remove my second. And until the vendors come and ask for us to extend the time, I can't support your
motion withdrawn, and I'll make a motion to consider, suspend the rules, and pass the ordinance as it reads.
Second.
Okay.
Chickens.
Any further discussion?
A whole bunch of chickens.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Schiff.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talonier.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
7 ayes.
We had the votes on the other way.
No nays.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
I don't think so. My second was withdrawn.
Item number 30.
I appreciate your thought.
Report from the Human Resources Department regarding a special ordinance for prevailing wage rates in the city of Rock Island.
Motion to consider suspend the rules and pass the ordinance.
Second.
Moving second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Alderman Schiff.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talonier.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 31.
Report from the city clerk regarding a resolution approving the partial release of executive session minutes and the destruction of the audio recordings for the same executive session meetings.
Move to approve the partial release of executive session minutes as recommended and adopt the resolution.
Second.
Moving second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Schipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker. 7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 32.
Report from General Administration regarding a resolution of support in an economic development services agreement with Quad Cities First.
Move to adopt the resolution and approve the agreement as recommended, subject to minor attorney modification, and authorize the mayor to sign the resolution and agreement.
Second.
Moved in second. Discussion up here?
I know oh, sorry.
No, I was going to add, there's some people here with, on the board of Quad City First.
Oh, sure. Let's hear from
that,
them first. Yeah.
like to talk?
Good evening. My name is Price Bowie. I was born and raised in Rock Island. Current business owner of Hungry Hobo, whose corporate headquarters is located in Rock Island at 2322 3rd Avenue. And we're a business that employs hundreds of people throughout the Quad Cities region. I'm also an original chamber board member and the chair of the Business Advocacy Council, but since then have been term limited out, trying to show some good governance there on behalf of the chamber. But I'm currently a Quad Cities First board member. On behalf of the Quad Cities First and Chamber Board of Directors, thank you to the City of Rock Island for being an exceptional partner in community and economic development. We have accomplished quite a bit in our partnership with the City of Rock Island. Since Quad Cities First inception in 2009, we have worked together as a region on approximately 65 deals that have resulted in $1 billion in new capital investment and over 7,000 jobs. It's the collaboration between the public and private sector that is driving business growth, expansion, and making our economy strong. We are thrilled to be back this month to formally introduce the 3-year Economic Development Services Agreement for Quad Cities First that will help us further the great work accomplished through our public and private partnership. The Quad Cities Chamber Board and Quad Cities First boards have eagerly endorsed the idea of formalizing our partnership and look forward to continued cooperation. We are very excited about the future and the next level of regional economic development. Thank you again for your continued support, and now I'm going to introduce Steve McCann, who's the incoming chair of our Quad Cities First Board of Directors.
Thank you, Price, and I'll keep this brief. Price said everything there is to need to know, but over the past few years, our staff and the board have undertaken kind of a retool of our approach to economic development. We realize that times have changed and people out hitting the streets and hitting the road looking for new businesses to come to the area is kind of a thing of the past, and much more is going to be done digitally going forward. In addition to the refined approach to economic development, we also decided it was time that we put a services agreement in place with the 5 major cities and the 2 counties, including, of course, the City of Rock Island. We appreciate your cooperation and all you've done with us in the economic development arena. So we're here. You have the services agreement. We're happy to answer any questions anybody has on that before you take a vote on it. Liz, anything you want to say?
I just want to mention thank you very much for letting us come back. We were here in May and kind of went through the agreement itself. You have a copy, I believe, in front of you, and then also your resolution of support. The thing just to keep in mind is there's 3 components. What we've really done is outline the scope of services. What is it that you're going to get for your funding involvement in Quad Cities First? It used to be just business attraction. We have now put business attraction, retention, and expansion all under one roof. And you have the authority and involvement with Quad City First Board that oversees all of those functions. The second piece to this is a funding model. We didn't have one before. We didn't really have a specific agreement on how specifically funding dollars went into Quad Cities First. And so what's happening now is your money is going to go towards Quad Cities First economic development only, and it's on a per capita basis, which the administrators, the public administrators, put together that formula. It's $1.31 per capita, and it's actually less than what you're currently paying at $1.75 per capita, I think, for economic development. And then the third part of this is, and it's the part that I'm most excited about, and that is the regional partnership. How do we work with our partners? Who's doing what? Making sure we're not duplicating efforts, and so that we're all on the same page and we are working collaboratively in economic development. So with that, we're here to answer any questions. Again, we appreciate all the time you've given us the last couple of months, and then also Randy's direct involvement in helping put this together, and then also Chandler, we meet with monthly and work very closely with your staff.
In your preamble under the Code of Ethics, you state violation of this commitment shall be viewed as the single most serious breach of our commitment and partnership in Quad Cities First Agreement. That's in relation to a business that people who are part of the agreement aren't poaching, in a sense.
Well, there's two pieces here. One is our Code of Ethics, and that's how do we work together in terms of economic development practitioners, Chandler, and working with our team. So there's that piece. But then the no poaching rule or the memorandum of agreement, you folks have all been a part of that since 1997. And what this does, though, is we're memorializing that agreement within this process, even though it's traditionally only been public sector. What we want to do is make sure all of our partners understand what that is. And it does draw out how do you operate when one company is trying to go to another town. It's a process of communication. At the end of the day, it's going to be about keeping that company in the Quad Cities. So we will all pull together, but there's a process of wherever that company is currently located, we want to make sure that they're having an opportunity to keep that company there. And it's also, we don't want to be in a situation of getting into bidding wars, with incentives.
Sure. Thank you.
Since 1997, has there ever been a case where a public body has been found to have violated the agreement?
Yes.
There have been? Okay.
Yes.
And what were the results of that, I guess?
Well, and see, this Bi-State Regional Commission, which I was at in 1997, so I helped write this thing. But the way it is a memorandum of agreement. It's kind of like, how are we public sector working together? It is a process of communication. But I'm going to tell you, in the situation that I remember it happening, it was not because of the economic development practitioners. It wasn't. It was an actual elected official went across and tried to attract another company to their town. And so in those cases, it was this communication among the staff, but it didn't get to that other level. And so that's what we want to prevent. I've never seen another one since then, but
that's good.
But yeah, so it is about communicating in a process of agreement.
And so if now we are extending this agreement to the private sector, essentially, there have been instances that have been in the media of private companies saying some rather negative comments about our city. And so in a situation like that, where the newspaper is publishing stories about a company making a video that has negative image on our city or something like that, what would Quad City First propose to do about that business, especially if they are a member? I mean, only if they're a member of this agreement. I mean, what do we do there?
Well, this agreement is really about the partners, meaning the public sector and then the private sector of Quad City First. It's really difficult to go out, for example, and tell a real estate broker, you have violated this agreement. For the most part, their job is to get companies to expand and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So we really can't, it's not like where we can have this go out and find them, for example. But it is going to be a process of communication and educating them on that. This is, at the end of the day, moving a company from one town to the next is not economic growth, and so it's really about education. Again, there isn't going to be the teeth, in terms of a fine, unless that's something we want to do down the road. I don't know, but it is all about that education. And a lot of times, many of our councils, for example, don't even know it exists. this agreement. So it's about educating them on that.
Yeah, that would be, sounds like a good idea and much appreciated from one council member of Rock Island, Illinois.
Yes. Just a few questions. Part of the report that we got says the funding for Quad Cities First is split between public funding 1/3 and private business funding 2/3.
Correct.
So I understand our public funding part of it, and I don't know exactly how the business funding part works, but I'm assuming there's a fee or something like that.
The Chamber of Commerce actually is they're the private side of the funding. So we come up with our budget. Quad City First Board of Directors approves our work plan, our budget, and then from there we figure out, okay, so the 1/3 is easy, like you said, the per capita, and we break it down by the 7 entities. And then that 2/3 comes into the process of the Chamber of Commerce and their budgeting. So the private sector pays for that 2/3 via the budgeting process from the chamber.
And the chamber gets some of its money from us also.
No, not anymore.
Nope. Okay. So I
Yeah.
stand corrected.
Mhm.
Then the other part that I wanted to ask about was, it's a 3-year proposal.
Yes.
And the per capita costs go up slightly each year.
Yes.
I don't know the exact figures, but I'm under the impression that our population may be going down, at whatever rate it is. So the fee is going to go up per capita, but our population or our per capita is going to be going
We hope not,
down
right?
until we can reverse that trend, which
Yeah.
is what we're working to do. Right.
Yeah, right. But at the end of the day, it's a 3-year agreement, but your financial commitment is going to come through an annual appropriation. So each year, we're going to have to put a budget together, a work plan. Quad City First Board approves it, and then you take it to each of your entities to talk about what your per capita cost is. What we use right now is census data. We get it from by state as the census repository of what the population is, and that's what we used in those estimates.
And you use the census, the last census that was taken.
Yes. Well, I think whatever by state uses, because I think they do a midterm census adjustment.
The American Community Survey.
Yes, yes. And so we use whatever they tell us, because they are the federal repository for census data.
Thank you.
Any other discussion, questions? Once again, of course, economic development is something we all desperately need, but City of Rock Island needs quite badly, and we need every tool in the toolbox we can to help that, and this is one of those tools in the toolbox, so it is definitely.
So the fees are close to $50,000 a year for the City of Rock Island?
I
didn't multiply it out, so.
Yeah, it's
75.
yeah, somewhere in that vicinity.
Okay, that's, all right.
Yes.
68,000 right now, and this will go down to 51,022, which is a decrease of $16,978.
Less money, more value.
That's right.
Yeah.
I would just encourage you to continue thinking about how to address partners that are not acting like partners. That is probably one of the most frequent concerns that I get from constituents, and so I am more than happy to, vote in favor of this, to do my side of the partnership, and just want to vocalize my encouragement to you to make sure that all partners are acting as such. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's do a roll call.
Alderman Ship.
Aye.
Keenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talonier.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 33.
Report from the city attorney regarding a request from Cozen O'Connor for a waiver of conflict of interest.
Motion to follow the city attorney's recommendation not to waive the conflict of interest.
Second.
Second, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Ship.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargettis.
Yes.
Talonier.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 34.
Report from the Finance Department regarding the reallocation of calendar year 2018 SIP funds in the amount of $10,175 for use by the Parks and Recreation Department to cover necessary plumbing repairs at Hauberg Estate.
Move to approve the funding reallocation as recommended.
Second.
Moving second. Any discussion?
Just to clarify, this is utilizing the money that was left over that we allocated for Hauberg's tuck pointing that came under bid. And so we're not giving more money for Hauberg. We're just using the money that was left over for more infrastructure improvements on the Hauberg-Denkman estate.
Very good. Roll call.
Alderman Schipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 35.
Report from the Finance Department regarding pension assumption changes for the firefighters' pension fund and the police pension fund.
Move to accept the reports as recommended.
Second.
You're on the wrong one.
Motion to approve the pension assumption changes as recommended.
Second.
Oh, yeah, I was reading them.
Move to second.
It's okay.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Schipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
36.
Report from the Finance Department regarding the municipal compliance reports for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2017, for the police pension fund and the fire pension fund.
Move to accept the reports as recommended.
Second.
Moving second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Schipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Aye.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 37.
Report from the Finance Department regarding the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, CAFR, and other audit documents for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2017, and ending December 31st, 2017.
Move to approve the audit documents as recommended.
Second.
Moving second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Schipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Item 38.
Report from the Fire Department regarding a request from the Rock Island Firefighters Association, IAFF Local 26, to utilize the intersection of 30th Street and 18th Avenue on Friday, August 31st, 2018, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., on Saturday, September 1st, 2018, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and on Sunday, September 2nd, 2018, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., for their annual Muscular Dystrophy Association Fill the Boot fundraising campaign.
Move to approve the request as recommended.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Item 39.
Report from the mayor regarding designation of the mayor pro tem.
So do we have a nomination?
Yes, I would like to designate and nominate. I'd like to nominate Alderman Dylan Parker for the mayor pro tem.
Second.
Move to second. Is there any other nominations? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your confidence. Do my best to fulfill it.
Item 40.
Report from the city clerk regarding an activity permit application for the St. Patrick's Day Parade to be held on Saturday, March 16, 2019, beginning at 11:30 a.m., and a resolution authorizing the use of a portion of 15th Street from 2nd Avenue to the Master Sergeant Stanley Talbot Memorial Bridge.
Move to approve the event as recommended and not adopt the resolution.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Kudos to I'm looking at this and I'm like, St. Patrick's Day. Kudos for being on top of the ball.
Quick, man. They're quick.
Well, forget about it. Back then, we'll say, did they do that?
Yeah.
Lost the paperwork. Sorry.
Wow.
All right. How about roll call?
Alderman Schipp.
Aye.
Geenan.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Spargattis.
Yes.
Talanair.
Yes.
Parker.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays, motion carried.
Item 41.
Street closing and sound amplification requests. A, report from the city clerk regarding requests from Anthony Scanyers for a street closing of 9th Street between 5th Avenue and 7th Avenue on Friday, August 17, 2018, and Saturday, August 18, 2018, between 11 a.m. and 10 p.m., and sound amplification for the Bill Bell Jazz and Heritage Festival. B, report from the city clerk regarding requests from Rachel Bruce for a street closing at 30th Street between 13th Avenue and 14th Avenue on Saturday, July 21st, 2018, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and sound amplification for a community block party event. And C, report from the city clerk regarding a request from Augustana College for sound amplification for a student event on Saturday, August 18, 2018, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the Lower Quad on campus.
Move to approve the request for street closings and sound amplification as recommended for items A through C.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
I want to thank my good friend Rachel for taking the initiative to organize a really positive community event around the new Pocket Park up there in College Hill. This is news to me. I'm happy to see that you took the effort to do that, so thank you.
And I'd like to say the Jazz Festival is a wonderful event to attend, so if you have some time, please come and attend that.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item 42.
Other business.
I have two things tonight. The first is I have a ward meeting coming up this Thursday at 7 p.m. at St. John's Lutheran Church at 7 p.m. Any of the aldermen are welcome to join and answer the questions from my constituents.
For you.
As I'm in the back pouring punch.
No,
but that'll be
punch.
That'll be yeah. There won't be any punch actually. We'll be inside the sanctuary at St. John's Lutheran Church there on 7th Avenue, and I think that's 44th Street. And the second is sort of a request to Mr. Grip for the Parks Department, something to consider. For the past couple of years, and thinking about the upcoming resurfacing project there on 38th Street, we have a basketball court, Lincoln Park, that's right adjacent to 38th Street there. Very popular part of the park there. Lots of people coming out there playing basketball, and the court's kind of gone without any changes for several years. I'd love to see if we could get some quotes on what, refurbishing that court, getting some paint down, some new hoops, and even some benches, because the folks are always sitting there on the grass. And I know in the summertime there's bugs, and some people are not comfortable with the grass. So I'd love to see that area get an improvement, and if we were able to get some quotes to figure out what that could look like. And there's also grass there for what could be a second court as well. That's just empty grass space right there. In the event that we could do what we've done with Douglas Park and rallying around some private funds, sort of an ad hoc Friends of the Park, it's something I'd like to get behind. So if we could get some quotes for that, that'd be helpful to see what that would look like moving forward. So that's it.
Yes.
I just wanted to mention briefly, some of us from the city attended the Knights of Columbus Police and Fire Awards at the Holiday Inn yesterday evening. It was a wonderful event, and congratulations to our police and firefighter award winners.
Very good. That's great. I would like to mention, once again, you talked about Park and Rec, Red, White, and Boom, the 3rd of July, of course, as we read before and everything else, but they were able to get it arranged that the boaters can use the transient docks up there this year, which I think is a great accomplishment for several things. Obviously, the boaters get to use it, get used to it, but there's potential for those boaters then to come up and utilize not only the park, but other businesses that are in the downtown area and everything else. It will be restricted to just the boaters going up and down there, not the general public as far as the park people, but for the boaters for safety reasons and everything else. But we'll have the advantage of that new utilization of those docks. So,
Well, on behalf of the council, Mayor, we're looking forward to spending the time out there with you on your boat. And
Is that an invitation?
thanks again. Really looking
sounds like it
forward.
was an invitation there, and if you don't mind working with my grandchildren, they'll be there too. So, other than that, the more the merrier. But is there anything else from the council? We do have some people in the audience. Crescenda, Cleveland, like to speak. I apologize for the late hour for the young ones, but
That's all right.
You can pull that down a little closer to you. That's good.
I'm going to try to talk quickly so I don't take up more of your time than necessary.
Oh, we're going to be here all night. That's okay.
We ain't.
Just long, take your time.
The previous 4 summers, Augustus, my son, he's down here, has used an inflatable ring while swimming at Whitewater Junction, the same way that many children had used. Until he was 3 years old, he used a float that had 2 rings and a mesh seat. He called it his boat. Using that, he learned when bigger kids ran into him to sit down rather than to fall over sideways. Augustus can't stand back up without using his arms, which are shorter, which means his face is in the water longer than average. Augustus was born with 2 separate conditions, hypochondroplasia and an arachnoid cyst in his cerebellum. Hypochondroplasia is a form of dwarfism that makes his limbs shorter, his torso average, and his head larger. His dwarfism is also the cause of his lower muscle tone. Your cerebellum is responsible for coordinating movement in your limbs. This has caused Gus to struggle to use his arms and legs together and has caused a delay in his reaction time. When Augustus wears a life jacket in the water, he can't balance upright on his own for longer than 2 minutes. He can't roll from front to back, and he can't put himself in an upright position in the water. A life jacket also adds bulk to his chest and arms and limits his already shortened reach. On May 26th, we went to Whitewater Junction on opening day, just as we've always done in the past. He entered the water with his ring and was told they don't allow them anymore. I approached the head lifeguard and explained that my child has a disability that makes a life jacket unsafe for playing. They also don't have a life jacket there in his weight range. I then approached Scott, the manager, and he said it was a new policy, that the signs had been misprinted, and he dismissed me. I used social media reviews to get the attention of the park board. June 4th, I met with the Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation and the pool manager. I brought a list of concerns, not just limited to the swim ring, and potential solutions. The Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation tabled the ADA discussion so that he could talk to the city attorney. The pool manager continued on that he allows Gus into the pool, and that is enough. On 4 separate instances, I've requested a full copy of policies. On June 5th, I received an abbreviated copy of policies. On June 6th, after not hearing back from the Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation, I called Alderman Geenan. After he made some phone calls, he advised me to get a doctor's note and said that the Director of Parks and Recreation would call me. On June 8th, I received the doctor's note. The Director of Parks and Recreation never called me. I called Alderman Geenan, and he said to email the note to him. He said the city attorney would prepare a waiver for me to sign and to take a copy of the note to the pool the next time we went. On June 13th, my family went to the pool. I gave the manager on duty a copy of the note. 15 minutes later, he returned it, saying that he had talked to the pool manager and the Assistant Parks of Recreation, and they would not accept it. I called Alderman Geenan, who made more phone calls and reported that the Parks Department had sent out a memo that said not to accept the note. Alderman Geenan told me there was nothing else he could do, so I called Mr. Talanier. Mr. Talanier had the city manager call me. The city manager emailed me options that the city would purchase that were also Coast Guard approved. None of the options would fit him or were appropriate and would provide the same support. On June 14th, the city manager sent the same options directly to Augustus's doctor for review and told me to talk to her. He also offered free swim lessons. On June 19th, the doctor sent an email to the city manager stating that the options he sent were not appropriate. I sent an email to Alderman Geenan and Alderman Talanier that included the doctor's response and the offer of free swim lessons and a reminder that it had been 25 days to try and rectify the situation. On June 21st, I received an email from the city manager stating that the city council would meet in a closed meeting to discuss the situation. I then filed a complaint with the Rock Island Human Rights Commission. June 22nd, the Rock Island Human Rights Commission recommended filing a complaint with the state, which I've done. That brings us to tonight, June 25th, a full 31 days since the first time the staff at Whitewater Junction knowingly discriminated by not making a reasonable accommodation to a policy as required by ADA regulations. The Parks and Recreation Department, the city manager, the city attorney, and several aldermen have had access to the doctor's notes and response to suggestions about alternative devices, and yet my son's rights are still being violated. In one conversation, the city manager told me, we've never had this problem before. That's because other Parks and Recreation staff have made accommodations. Augustus attends preschool at RIFAC. He's required minimal accommodations, but Mrs. Gray has always made sure he was provided them. He plays soccer and t-ball. Pete has taken care of any accommodations needed. In previous years at Whitewater Junction, he has had accommodations for how he goes down the smallest slide. He couldn't sit up to go down the slide until this year. The rule is you sit and you slide. They let him lay on his stomach and roll over and go down as long as he was feet first. It's an easy accommodation. Flotation devices were never a needed accommodation because all flotation devices and toys were allowed until this year. Until 2 weeks ago, the website for Whitewater Junction said they allow all flotation devices with the exception of water wings. That was the same signage that was posted the first day we went to the pool. We were never informed of any changes to that policy. Otherwise, I would have started the process of finding accommodations that everyone could agree on before the swimming season even began. On a daily basis, the policies listed in the brief overview that I was provided are not being consistently enforced. An example, there's a policy about not wearing denim in the water, yet some days people wear denim and are not asked to change or leave. While they have become consistent about not having anything inflatable, they're not enforcing the U.S. Coast Guard approved flotation devices. Children are wearing swim aids that look similar to a life jacket, but are not. I offered a solution to this during my meeting on June 4th, but no action has occurred. No one is checking that children are wearing the correct life jacket for their weight or that they're using all straps. Whitewater Junction recently changed to storing their life jackets in an open cage-type container. However, manufacturers recommend storing them out of the sun because the sun can break down the fabric, making them ineffective as life-saving devices. How safe is a life jacket that isn't cared for or used properly? It's clear that you have an administration who is uneducated when it comes to ADA regulations, and education to change that should take place immediately. What happens to people who need accommodations that are just attending the pool for a day? Are they just out of luck because they don't have 31 days to wait? Are you now offering swim lessons to all persons with different abilities? Because when you offer someone something for free because they're complaining about you, it appears to be a bribe, unless you're offering it to the entire special needs community. What are your plans to train the city employees appropriately? And what are your plans to ensure that my sons and any other person with different abilities' rights are not violated again?
Thank you. At the end of your comments? Or? Okay. Thank you very much. Also on here is Harry Cleveland. Okay. Then I can have Augustus.
Let me get you your chair.
You can pull that microphone down farther if you wish.
That's a great accommodation. Thank you.
Why can I not have my floating ring in the pool?
That's my next question.
Why do they keep giving the doctor's notes back?
What's your next question?
Why can we not float on the lobster and starfish? And why can we not float on our turtle and our shark?
Thank you very much.
Good job, Gus.
Appreciate it. That's not easy to do in public. Okay, thank you very much. If there's nothing else, then I have Charlene, can't read the last name very well, wants to talk about handicap street sign. Still here? Oh, okay. That was on the agenda maybe, so okay. Okay, not here. All right, that's all signed up. There's nothing else for up here. We 43.
Mayor, can I just say real quick, you know, I know when folks sign up to talk, it's not for back and forth, but I just want to say for those watching at home that the council has all been briefed on the situation from a memo from the city manager. What we're being told is that the issue is we're working back and forth with the doctor to find an appropriate approved device that can be used in the pool. Has anything changed since we got that email?
No, just that the doctor has said that a ring-type device is the only appropriate device that she's seen, which is the device that's being asked for. So Dave will be able to brief you on the waiver. And
so, Dave, as far as the legal ramifications of this, if we have a, you know, the doctor said that there's only one type of device that works, where do we find ourselves in trying to accommodate for that type of device?
Well, I think that would be a question that would be best answered in executive session, and I certainly am more than happy to and prepared to answer that question in that regard.
Okay. Because yeah, the legal memo that we got was not entirely clear on the subject, so we're going to keep working on this. Obviously, we know it's an issue, and I'm sorry for the delay. We've had numerous issues come up in the past where one person or family kind of feels like they're in the crosshairs or being mistreated or unfairly. There's a lot of bureaucracy on our side to accommodate with all the laws and that we have to, but I'm speaking for myself. I hope we can get this resolved because we have bigger fish to fry, to put it very simply. But for Gus, this is a big deal, so we need to take care of it. Sure. Yeah. Right. And yeah, we've never had this come up to us before. Right. Okay. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. This is all news to me. I know you've worked with Alderman Geenan and Alderman Talanier, so.
All right. Item 43.
Mayor,
yes.
I want to comment, please,
yes.
also. As we've seen tonight, our girls won the state championship in Rock Ridge.
Yes.
Swimming is a sport in Rock Island, in the NCAA all the way through.
Yes.
Now, I don't swim, but we cannot deprive these young kids in the summertime, okay? Unless you're in high school, you don't get to swim anywhere unless you got a private pool. Wintertime, you don't swim. Mm-hmm. My wife swims. This is our family. My wife swam all the way out in the Pacific Ocean when we were on our honeymoon. I couldn't have went out there and saved her. So this is a sport that we have to recognize as a sport. This young lad here could grow up to be a world-class Olympic swimmer. So we have got to take care of this immediately, and nobody should have to wait.
Okay.
Thank you.
If I could just quickly say, Cassandra, I appreciate your advocating for your son. I understand your position. We have to look at various factors in terms of liabilities for non-U.S. Coast Guard approved devices, but we will work to try to find a resolution if it's possible. It may have been, and we'll be talking about that in executive session.
All right, we're ready to go? Yes. Item 43.
Executive session, 5 ILCS 120, Section 2, C2, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives. And 5 ILCS 120, Section 2, C11, litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Move to second. Any discussion on that?
I would just like to clarify that we are not allowed, per Illinois state statute, to make any sort of binding decision or any decision at all while in executive closed session. So we obviously are going to be discussing this, talking about the aspects of liability on the city's side, but we only discuss the issues at hand. No document is signed, no votes are had while in executive session after we've had the conversation, hearing from our legal consult on potential problems or issues. Then publicly we make a decision. So I know there is no decision will be made tonight.
You didn't know that? So we can't make no, we can't vote on this, whatever? Executive session.
Are we in executive session now?
I don't know, he hasn't called a roll call
Not
yet.
yet. Nope.
Waiting for
We're
the
still in the
roll.
discussion stage.
Oh, okay.
They're discussing.
I missed the vote part, sorry about that.
You ain't voted yet,
That's what I said, I missed the vote.
Yeah, we can,
My seat moved.
it's not on the agenda.
One of them queer socks.
Is this something that we vote on? Is this something that we will potentially formally vote on? I think it is.
But we should use a microphone. This is a public meeting. People can't hear us.
I'm trying to decide if we need to actually do that.
Oh, well, okay.
All right. So we have,
Parliamentary procedure.
yep, that's exactly. So, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, no, we need a roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, it does say that. I apologize. My error. Roll call.
Alderman Ship.
Aye.
Geenan. Clark.
Aye.
Mayberry.
Yes.
Forgettis.
Yes.
Collinaire.
Yes.
Parker. 7 ayes, no nays. Motion carried.
Thank you.